Hello and welcome back. Are you ready for more God stories? Today we discover similarities between the gods of two great civilizations and how their stories are so similar. This is part 4 of our series on the evolution of gods and religions. We were discussing in the previous episode about how the people who believed in Yah or El were fighting with the people who believed in La. If you haven't seen that episode, please do check them out. So, at the time, the area of Mesopotamia, Egypt and Babylonia, there were a lot of gods, and people who worshipped those gods formed clans and used to fight among themselves for their gods. Having fed up with this, the ancient Egyptians finally decided to settle on one god instead of many gods. Now the question that had to be automatically answered was which gods were to be deleted and which gods were to be copy-pasted. Since they could not come to a consensus, they decided to have 3 gods instead of just one. So in Egypt, they had Amun, Re and Ta. Some others in Egypt also worshipped Osiris, Isis and Horus. The Sumerians worshipped Anu, Enlil and Ea. Zeus, Poseidon and Hades were revered in Greece. The Romans had Jupiter, Juno and Minerva, while the Babylonians too shared the Egyptian gods of Osiris, Isis and Horus. Different regions, different gods, same concept. Now let us see some similarities between these ancient gods and some current gods that we are familiar with. Hello, I am Anand and I welcome you to this channel which aims at promoting science and scientific temper and demoting pseudoscience and superstitions. Although started out in Egypt, the idea of a trinity was popularized by the Greeks. During these times, the Greeks had famous philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle who recognized the magic of 3. The Greeks traveled widely and as a result carried the concept of 3 main gods to wherever they went. You can see this even today. The Bible has the concept of Trinity, the Father, Son and the Holy Ghost, and Hinduism has another Trinity in Brahma, Vishnu and Maheshwara. Now in all these God concepts, there was one person who does the creation, one who does the preservation or continuation, and one who does the annihilation, what we call the Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara. Now look at this Egyptian god Ra. He has a snake sitting on his head and has a rod in his hand. So as humans walked across the land, the gods changed in subtle ways. When Ra reached the Greek shores, they gave it some subtle changes and thus became Poseidon. Notice the trident in his hand. Poseidon traveled further east, and when he reached the subcontinent, he was given a few more changes in accordance with the people who lived there, and Ra Poseidon became this god, Shiva. Now this one is Horus, another Egyptian god. He had the head of a falcon. The Indians did not like the falcon-faced Horus very much. We already had other gods who had undergone such plastic surgery methods. So instead of giving a god the face of a falcon, they placed him atop an eagle, which is similar to a falcon in appearance and more common in India. And no prizes for guessing this god, Vishnu. Now let us look at some other resemblances. Zeus was a prominent god for the Greeks. He was a god of thunder and lightning and wields a thunderbolt as his weapon. He lived on top of the Olympus mountain. Now shift to another king of gods in another country. Again, the god of thunder and lightning who lived atop the Meru mountain. Yes, our very own Indra. Both Zeus and Indra have numerous women and offspring in their midst. They are depicted as having multiple relationships with goddesses and mortal women, leading to the birth of various demigods and heroes. Now Zeus is said to have shape-shifted into various animals, which included a bull. I already told you, Indians didn't like shape-shifting too much. We have a habit of changing the story a bit by making the god ride an animal. So here is a god who rides a bull and lives on a mountain. Shiva is often associated with destruction and transformation too. Similarly, Zeus has been involved in some significant upheavals in Greek mythology. Both figures are associated with the cycles of creation, destruction and rebirth. Want more? Hades is the Greek god of the underworld, which is also called Hades, while Yama is the Hindu god of death and the underworld, presiding over Naraka. They both ensure that souls receive appropriate rewards or punishments for their actions on earth. Look at Hermes and Narada. One is the son of Zeus and one is the son of Brahma. Both Hermes and Narada serve as messengers of the gods in the Greek and Indian mythologies. They act as intermediaries between the divine realm and humans, carrying messages, instructions, or news from the gods to mortals. Hermes and Narada are known for their cleverness, wit, and mischievous nature at times. They often mediate conflicts, impart wisdom, and provide guidance to individuals in various situations. Both figures are associated with music and art. Hermes is credited with inventing the lyre in Greek mythology, while Narada is renowned for his singing and playing of the veena. Both Hermes and Narada are portrayed as wanderers, traveling extensively between different worlds. And if all of this is not enough, both Hermes and Narada are known for their wisdom and knowledge. The Greeks had Hercules, who was sent 2 serpents to kill him, and he killed them instead. Sounds familiar to the Kaliya Mardana story of another god, right? Also, the Greek god Oedipus had a prophecy foretold that the 8th born child would kill his father. In India, we had a matrilineal system, so the story was slightly changed, and the 8th child of Vasudeva was prophesied to kill his uncle. Similarly, Cronus in Greek mythology, fearing a prophecy that one of his offspring would overthrow him, swallowed his children to prevent this fate. Similarly, Kamsa in the Hindu mythology, upon hearing a prophecy that the 8th child of his sister Devaki would be his downfall, imprisoned Devaki and Vasudeva and killed their newborn children in an attempt to thwart the prophecy. Now, I still fail to understand that if he feared that the 8th child would kill him, why didn't he imprison them in separate rooms? Why did he let them be together so that they could procreate and thus create kid number 8? Have you ever thought of that? Always makes me laugh, that one. Now, we shouldn't forget the goddesses, right? We have to be inclusive. Hera and Lakshmi are considered wives to major gods in their respective mythologies. Hera is the wife of Zeus, while Lakshmi is the wife of Vishnu. Hera represents aspects of femininity such as marriage, family, and motherhood, while Lakshmi symbolizes wealth, prosperity, and fertility. Athena in Greek mythology and Saraswati in Hindu mythology are revered as goddesses of wisdom, knowledge, learning, and the arts. Both are associated with learning and education. Both are said to emerge from the foreheads or heads of their fathers, Zeus and Brahma respectively. Thankfully, Zeus did not marry Athena, but Brahma is said to have married his daughter, Saraswati. Next is Ganga and Thetis. Both Ganga and Thetis are associated with water. Ganga is the goddess of the Ganges river, while Thetis is a sea nymph connected to the ocean. They are both linked to maternity and motherhood in their respective mythologies. Ganga is regarded as the mother of the legendary figure Bhishma in Hindu mythology, while Thetis is the mother of the Greek hero Achilles. Both Aphrodite and Lakshmi are said to have arisen from the sea. The links doesn't end here. Both Achilles and Krishna died due to arrows stuck on their foot. The Greek god Ares, who is the son of Zeus and Hera, and Subramanya or Murugan or Kartikeya is the son of Shiva and Parvati. Both wield spears as their weapons, and both are celebrated for their bravery and courage in battle. Poseidon and Varuna are both gods of seas. Eros and Kamadeva are similar in a wonderful way. Eros is the Greek god of love and desire, representing romance and passionate love. Similarly, Kama or Kamadeva is the Hindu god of love, desire, and attraction. Eros is often depicted with a bow and arrows, shooting golden arrows that cause individuals to fall in love. Similarly, Kamadeva is portrayed wielding a bow and arrows made of flowers, which he uses to arouse feeling of love and attraction. Hephaestus and Vishwakarma are associated with the creation of divine and extraordinary objects. Hephaestus forged powerful weapons and armor for the gods in Greek mythology. Vishwakarma is believed to have crafted celestial weapons such as the Vajra for the Hindu gods in Hindu mythology. Akshaya Patra is something similar to the amphora which was blessed by Zeus to be never empty, whereas Amrit is ambrosia, the food of gods. The Greeks too had guardian deities similar to what Hindus call Kula Devata. And it is not just confined to the Greeks. Zoroastrianism too has provided many things to many cultures, mainly Islam and Christianity, especially the concept of monotheism. There are others, but that is a story for another day. The Parsi community who have settled in India are Zoroastrians who escaped from Persia following the Arab conquest of Persia. Now listen to this story. Ahura Mazda is the supreme deity in Zoroastrianism, and he is the creator of the universe and embodies all that is positive and beneficial to life. Angramanyu is the antagonist and represents the evil and the bad. He opposes Ahura Mazda and seeks to destroy the creations of the divine. Ahuras are the divine beings aligned with Ahura Mazda. They represent the forces of goodness and are believed to assist Ahura Mazda in maintaining cosmic harmony and resisting the evil intentions of Angramanyu. Devas are another group of divine who are aligned with Angramanyu. They represent darkness and evil. Devas are considered enemies of Ahura Mazda and his divine order and are seen as obstacles to the cosmic balance and well-being of the world. The struggle between Ahura Mazda and Angramanyu, along with their respective followers, the Ahuras and the Devas, symbolizes the ongoing battle between good and evil within Zoroastrian cosmology. Now, did you notice something very striking here? The names of the followers of the Zoroastrian gods, Ahura Mazda and Angramanyu, Ahuras and Devas. Doesn't it sound very similar to our Asuras and Devas? The names are almost identical, and it appears that if someone changed the names and jumbled up the pages of the storybook. So for us, the story is ulta. Devas or Devas are the good ones, and Ahuras or Asuras are the bad ones. Somewhere down the line, someone mixed up the stories and is stuck. The similarities are so striking that one cannot help but wonder that maybe the stories came down from common ancestors and branched into different versions and cultures. Now do you see why I have named this series Evolution of Gods and Religions? Common ancestry is the reason. Sab ek hi thali ke chatte batte hain. As humans travel from one place to another, they often split apart in groups, and similar to the genetic drift observed in Darwinian evolution, the stories too underwent evolution and became different species. I mean, different stories. I can predict a comment that is most likely to come under this video. It is that our Hinduism was there much before any of these civilizations were present, so it is our stories which has been borrowed by them. Okay? As you wish, but as long as you acknowledge that these are just stories and not historical incidents, I have no problems then. Suppose 200 years from now, someone says that Jack and Rose from the Titanic movie really existed. They could say that the Titanic existed. There is proof of that. We have pictures of DiCaprio and Kate Winslet. We have footage of Jack and Rose standing with their arms outstretched at the bow of the ship. So Jack and Rose actually existed. Would you believe that? Or if someone told you Harry Potter existed because King's Cross Station exists and probably platform 9 3/4 could have existed at some point. Stories don't make anything real. Evidence does. So the moral of this story is the religious stories that we uphold as eternal truths have traveled far and wide along the paths that early humans made as they spread across the globe, and they have undergone several edits and changes made by local cultures and civilizations. It is important that people with some common sense should understand this and refrain from hurting each other in the name of these stories. If there are many more such people, then we can bring about a positive change to the society. And that is the aim of this channel and this series. So, if you wish to see a change in the society, please like, subscribe, and more importantly, share this so that at least our children or their children can live in a safer, religion-free world. I hope you like this episode. Do let me your thoughts in the comment section. I shall be back with another scientific temper promoting video soon. Until then, question everything and never stop learning.